What's going on? Oh, wait, for my friend Chris. There you go. Hope you're listening, buddy. Anyway, welcome to today's talk, as John Campbell would say. Dr. John Campbell, good guy to follow. Anyway, so I want to make sure everybody can hear me. Got a big call today. Make sure Sarika, can you hear me? Yeah, no. Hear me, see me? Yep. Perfect. Okay, cool. Thanks, Sarika. Okay, so she will monitor the background. Anybody who's got any questions, stuff like that. She's also bouncing between about 10 other things, like we all do in our lives. So I think she's probably heard me and listened to me enough. Maybe you guys have as well. But today we're going to be talking about, we do this a couple times a year. You know that. Like in December, we talk about the upcoming year. In January, we make a deep plan. We talk about setting goals. In June, we're halfway through. How did we do so far? Are we on track? Like, goals aren't goals if you don't check in, monitor, and measure. How do you grow? There are case studies, clients of ours that we talk to on a regular basis, and folks in the industry that, despite everything we're talking about that's happening with, the mud and FUD in the world of, Iran and Straits of Hormuz and AI job apocalypse and infrastructure issues and data center issues and consumers holding tight to their cash because they're worried about their jobs, which are all real things happening. Done what we're going to talk about today. One of our friends, Tony, started his business in May of 2024. Never been a carpet cleaner before. Had worked in the industry. He'd worked at another company that but he'd been a hotel manager. Worked his way all the way up from valet all the way up to manager of hotels and stuff like that in his area. And he took a short time gig at when he left that after decades of that, he left that. He took a small gig with a cleaning company, restoration company, decided he liked the industry. And I just did a podcast with him, which was really cool. It's coming out soon. And then but he was never thought of himself kind of as an entrepreneur, and he got pushed a little bit by some of his friends and jumped in. And he is now 2 years into a brand new business. Things we're going to talk about today, parts of those fit into this, is at a $7-figure, $1 million run rate in a brand new cleaning business in a town of about 500,000 people. So 2 years doing the right things the right way. He's at $83,000 a month roughly and growing through that, right? Because it's strategic, right? So Ricardo, another fellow I talked to on the podcast, same idea. He doesn't work in the businesses. He just buys them and grows them. Robert Yokel, another guy on the podcast, shout out to Robert in Colorado Springs. Last I talked, you're 4 or 5 million a year. Kind of turned the corner about 15 years ago and now scaling. Now he's buying other businesses. He just bought a window chip, like a mobile glass business, things like that. Get this right. Do what we're going to talk about today. And regardless of the economy, you know who you're targeting, you know how to target them, you know what you should be doing every single day, you know how to grow the business. None of it's guesswork. You're not sitting on the forums. Learning how to be one guy in a truck for the rest of your life. It's just not what you're doing. In fact, the Tony story is right in the backyard of Truck Mount Forums. Rob Allen, great guy, love everything he does. But his business is right, cleaning business and all, is right in the same marketplace. So it's not lack of competitors. In fact, it's a very competitive market. It's how you run the market. So anyways, so we're going to jump into the growth reset. Did you meet your goals? Are you growing despite the FUD and mess in the economy? Are you targeting the right people? Have you thought this through? Or are you hoping and praying, right? Are you still thinking that you need more leads? Hopefully you've watched enough of these trainings, understand what the right methodology, the very few people that actually grow these great businesses. And when they do, they grow like crazy. Amy, another person talked to recently, went from 1.2 to 2.4 million in the last 18 months in their family legacy cleaning business that hadn't cracked $1 million prior to second generation taking over. So yeah, let's jump into this because I think there's a lot to talk about. Hopefully that excites you a little bit because There's a way through this. So see me up in the top corner here. We're going to get watering through, but what the top cleaners are doing right now, I just mentioned a bunch of them, and I know a whole bunch more. I talked to the top cleaners in our industry that privately do things differently than everybody else that is just targeting more leads. I need more leads. I need more leads. I need to find a lead company, right? They've done Thumbtack. They've tried it. Angie's List, Home Advisor. They go with somebody who all they talk about is just doing Facebook ads or just doing pay-per-click ads. That's all you need is pay-per-click ads. You need more leads. I'm going to show you again. Hopefully there's enough. You've watched enough of these that you know that doesn't work, but I'm going to show you again. But because we're going to get through what actually does work. So turn off your phones, turn off Facebook, unless you're watching this on your phone. Don't turn it off. That'd be silly. If you're a home cleaning or home service business, and you're serious about getting good results, regardless of what's going on around us, let's put our thinking hats on. Let's put our student hats on and be a student of business. Let's grow this thing. We're going to do our mid-year review. Are you on track? We're going to talk about the modern customer and what's changed. May 8th changed the entire Google algorithm again. Did you adapt? Did your marketing company adapt? Do they even know? Have they been aiming at this for the last year or more? Right? Good questions. The new visibility ecosystem and your marketing plan, is it being targeting the right things? I like to you hear me say, what's old is new again, do what grandpa does. I was talking to Jeff Cross at CleanFacts, ISSA, just last week. And we had a good little chat. I think it's up on YouTube already under the CleanFacts Take 5 or Straight Talk, whichever. If we talked under 5 minutes, it goes into Take 5. If we talk more than 5 minutes, it goes into Straight Talk. So you can figure out which one that is. But it's on the YouTube channel. Really good little segments I do with Jeff every month. And this one was on understanding your math properly. Pay-per-click was the topic, but most people we talk to think they need more leads, but they literally don't have the business that qualifies to run paid ads because it's a math problem, straight up. So who am I? Brand new here. Been in business since high school. Kind of went on the road with a band, but I also did window cleaning last year of high school. Continued to do that during the daytime. Jumped over the side of 40-story buildings. Eventually, while playing guitar at night in bands and going on the road in the winter and all that kind of stuff. And I've owned cleaning businesses, franchises. I've bought and sold massive amounts of businesses for millions of dollars. I lectured, for 3-day elite retreats. Got flown to the island of Samoa. Got taken 3-day retreats in Chilliwack, BC, and Orlando and Vegas and stuff like that on the, in the industry on how to do what we're going to talk about here today. I wrote the book on it, all that kind of stuff, and sold all my businesses off for my retirement money because we don't have 401ks in this industry. So I'm also, again, industry leader, the year of CleanFacts and all that kind of good stuff. Shared stages with all the people we know. That's what I do. Run the Carpet Cleaner Success Podcast. You might be listening to on that. You might be watching this on YouTube, whichever. Just tap in, give away a lot of free training and learning. I also am a consultant in the industry and I charge for that. So consider this a good chance to kind of get some good, deep information to work on because the goal is work as fast as you can. You want to be growing. You want to be up. You want to be up everywhere. You want to make your company the top brand in the local marketplace so you attract the best clients. You can charge the top rates because the best clients aren't worried about price. Just so you know, if everybody calls you is worried about price, you haven't figured out bullet point number 1 there yet, right? And you're booked out weeks in advance. Hey, we're the most in demand. So we are booking for till, right now it's Thursday. We are booking for next Friday, a week Friday, or the following Monday, because we are the most in demand. Most of our regular clients book a year in advance into our schedule. Does that work for you next Friday? Oh my gosh, everybody else I called was available today. Yeah, that tells you something. That's how we used to answer it on the phone. Right? Can you sell at higher prices when you're confident that you're the best in the marketplace and you can prove it? Absolutely. How do we do this? How do we do this? You got to maximize your opportunities to generate a qualified inquiry. We're going to show what that means again and again and again. But what is maximizing your opportunities for a qualified inquiry? We got to qualify them first. Then we got to maximize them. You want to maximize your brand impressions. You don't want to throw a massive budget. You're not putting 80% of your marketing budget at brand impressions, but you do have to put a certain percentage, 10 to 15%. It's a math problem. Because when people know, like, and trust you before they've ever tried you, because of this done properly, your paid ads are going to work 4 to 5 times better is what we've proven. Your every door mail is going to work 2 to 3 times better. You're going to ROI like crazy because they already know you. Then you showed up when they needed somebody and the two connected. You connected the dots. Your marketing works better when your brand impressions teach people what you're all about. That's why billboards, like, think of every personal injury lawyer, think of good real estate agents, the top ones in the marketplace, backup buses in the right neighborhoods, billboards. You want to have that kind of effect where your ideal customer is hanging out. You got to know where that is. We're business owners. We got to learn this stuff, right? We're not technicians or cleaners. My technicians made between 60, 70, 80, as high as $90,000 a year as a technician cleaning for our company. So, I know a lot of carpet cleaners I talk to that don't make anywhere near that 10 years in, like, take home. So you can make that money and still go home at the end of the day and not have the headaches of owning a business. If you got the headaches of owning a business, you might as well be like Tony and grow this thing up, sell it off, transfer it to family, do whatever. You want to be able to maximize your conversions. You can lead a horse to water, but if you can't make them drink, everything is way more expensive. You maximize your conversions from 20% to 70% with the right mix of better scripts, better follow-ups, long-term nurture. We'll talk about all of that. And you can spend more, way more on the front end to market than anybody else because you're going to get more on the back end. So that's a really cool moment. But if you don't know any of this, and it's like, I'm just trying to clean these chairs at the church, John. I'm just trying to get this, this hotel contract, John. And all. Cool. But understand all of that sort of making sure your machines are running, out cleaning, and not training somebody else to do the cleaning with you so that you can eventually do it for you, means that you're not focusing on growth. You're going to do this for now, pay your bills, and hope that growth happens enough that you can hire that other guy. Or I can't really do any of the stuff you talk about, John, until I get out of the truck. Totally not true. These are all little stories in our head that we tell ourselves. I was out of the truck in the first year and a half and never back in it again. In 2000, from 1995 to 1997, starting in a town of 30,000 people as a shy kid. We all know the story, right? Because shy. Like, and I was talking to Elaine, if you're on the call, or if you're watching this on replay. Yes. I kind of tried to prove to her I was a shy, introverted. I don't get energy from large crowds and talking to people. I get pooped out. I have to rally myself up, but that was Tony Robbins, Awake the Giant Within, listening to those tapes and reading those books, pumping myself up before I had to do all the stuff that I had to do to grow the business. But I knew what I wanted to do, which was not stay in the truck for 20 years. Right? So there's a path to that as well. Conversions are a part of that. So what is the biggest obstacle to finish your 2026 strong? Are you generating enough leads? And again, we're going to talk about why that's, everybody's thought we put it number one, but it really is the bottom of the barrel, the bottom list. Are you standing out from your competition? Way more important. Do you have visibility on Google Maps and on the internet in general? AI is changing how customers search. Are you in front of? Do you understand what that means? Right? Are you converting people into jobs? Do you know your conversion rates? Are you tracking that? If you don't know your numbers, you have nothing to fix. You're just winging it. And winging it keeps you in the truck 20 years later. There's a very small percentage. We're going to go back to those numbers. I'm going to talk about 85, 2, and 0.5. 85% of all home cleaning service business owners never get out of the truck. Only 15% do. That right there tells you most of them do things wrong. There's a problem. Only 2%, the 2 number, 2% ever sell their business for more than the price of the truck and the equipment. They don't build an asset that has equity value. They don't have a database worth $500,000 to $1 million. They don't have a goodwill and a acquisition funnel and all that that's worth $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. They're not trying to grow to 10 million plus and sell to private equity like people that we talk to in the cleaning industry are now doing. Right? That may not be you. Maybe you don't want to grow to $1 million, but you want to be able to say, for example, have 2 trucks on the road, run about $500,000, $400,000, $500,000. You're not in either of them. You have an office manager running the office. You have the business systemized. You're 55, 60, 65 years old. You don't have to sell it. You just step back, monitor, manage, because you built the systems, you run the company, and you make your 8, 10K a month before taxes retainer. And you still have something to sell. You make sure the business is running the way you've built the machine. You keep an eye on the numbers, but that might be 5 hours a week from your laptop at the beaches in Florida, right? I think that's the name of the community for retired people. Or in Texas, got a friend that goes to Texas on a regular basis, lives in one of those communities, owns businesses, just doesn't run the day-to-day, doesn't have to, right? So do you want to get there with the business? Is that a goal? Think about it. So you want to go download the workbook, carpetcleaningmarketingmasters.com/2026 workbook. Let me click on that and see if I'll bring that over and show you what it's going to look like. All right. So I'm going to close. I'm not going to close that for a second. I've got my AI in the background doing some stuff on another tab. Always got stuff running and building. But there's your workbook, right? 2026, we're going to talk about this, but this gives you a baseline of what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. So get that. You don't need to fill it out on this call. You don't need to print it off and fill it out. You can look at it. You're going to do your homework afterwards, right? But what changed in 2026? Have you noticed any changes? Are you going to grow and adapt to this brighter future? Or are you kind of heading towards the cloudy changes that are happening? The old world's not coming back. That's obvious. Everything is changing for every reason, right? Consumer debt, all-time high. National debt, all-time high. There's no easy fixes to any of this kind of stuff. Inflation, the Fed chair, if you're involved in any of this macro stuff, is caught between a rock and a hard place, right? Should normally raise rates to lower inflation, the risk of inflation, can't do that. The price of gas and oil and all of these things, there's just so much going on. And AI is replacing jobs and doing things smarter and better and faster than ever before. In fact, to the point, Mythos, as an example by Anthropic, they tried to release it. It can find errors in coding and websites and logins and stuff like that, where the current benchmark was maybe about 14%. The best engine on planet Earth could hack 14% of the infrastructure, the digital infrastructure in our world. Think of power plants, think of water utility plants, think of whatever. Mythos showed that it could even hack the NSA. It could hack 74 point something percent of all encryption. That's insane. So they held it back, rightfully so, a month ago, because AI is now building itself, the next generation, and it's faster and faster, faster, faster every day. It will be light years different in 3 months. A year from now, you won't even recognize how this whole thing works, right? So they came up with Fable 5. It's just an engine. It's just like Opus 4.8. It's like ChatGPT 5.5. It's just one of those, Fable 5. And they had to pull it because what they'd done is they actually neutered it a little bit so that if you used any search phrases around any of these terms, it would dumb down the model to an older model so it couldn't hack these things, sort of try to self-govern because it was that powerful. So Fable 5 was Mythos with handcuffs on. Turns out they couldn't handcuff it enough and had to pull it within a day or two. It was way too powerful. So our world's changing. What does that mean to you and I? What does that even mean? Well, AI, Google, customer behavior, everything's changing and faster than we've ever had to deal with change before in our lives. right? AI is reshaping search because it's reshaping the way humans interact. And I'll prove this to you. Google keeps evolving. May 8th, they overhauled their entire algorithm. Don't believe me? Just go into Google's AI mode and talk to it about it. Ask what happened, right? Customer behavior is different. Higher expectations, way more research. I'll show you why. There is more search happening now than ever before, but way less patience. And the new winners are emerging. The old winners are failing. So the business understands these shifts, will win the second half of 2026 and be positioned for the new 2027. There are guys like Ilya, can't pronounce his last name, one of the co-founders of OpenAI, that believes 2027 is when we will have artificial general intelligence, AI smarter than humans to the point we don't even know what it's doing. AI, artificial general intelligence, next year. Some guys say we're 3 years off. That's still scary. So the rules of growth have changed. The old way, traditional marketing, keyword searches, keywords aren't even a thing anymore, just so you know. Limited visibility, you could pluck away at it. The new way, AI search conversations, Google Maps, local SEO, done properly to speak to these, reviews and reputation, online, and there's things that you need to do offline that should never have stopped. That's why we do done together marketing with our clients. It's what do you do? What do we do? How do we dovetail it together? Because there is no marketing agency that can help a company grow, find you more leads if you don't know what to do with them. And I'm going to prove that math to you as well. So AI is changing search. Customers get answers instantly in a whole new way. Google's changing visibility. They do not rank you for tactics. They rank you for engagement, being unique and authentic and proper, because they can now. They've always wanted to. Google's never been about trying to scam anybody. The scam came from, hey, I can get you 10,000 backlinks from Russia, 2002, and all of a sudden your website ranks number one, because that was a scam that exploited a loophole in the algorithm. They closed that. There was Panda and Penguin updates to the, on and on and on. Every one of those, they are closing loopholes that scammers and marketers pushed hard to try and get an edge, an unfair advantage for a short period of time. All Google's game has always been is, can we just authentically get the right answers for the person searching so that people love us more than anywhere else and always come back to us so we make money by putting ads in front of those eyeballs? That's their whole game, nothing else. So we know the game. We know that they're trying to be more and more and more and more and more authentic, and AI is helping them with that. The speed at which data can be managed, the way things can be connected. Again, keywords aren't a thing anymore because it's about being a topic authority. We'll talk about that. So you have to be the authority of the topic in the local marketplace authentically, online, offline, everywhere, or you're not found, right? So all of that is to say, what does that mean, John? We'll talk about it. And customers are changing as well, because as they're getting more and more and better answers, they don't have to scroll to page 10 of Google, which they never did. Best place to hide a dead body has always been page 2 of Google. Nobody gets there. But now page 1, because the data feeds the answer engine. And that's not just coming from Google or your website. It's coming from Reddit. It's coming from Quora. It's coming from TikTok and everywhere else, right? So, and customers are getting better and better and better and more detailed answers without having to click on anything. You are as well. Think of your own life. That's how it's happening. There's no game to get you in front of there. There is being very methodically and properly strategic, which we will walk you through today on this call. The businesses that adapt are winning right now and are going to win the second half of 2026, as people that aren't adapting are going to be hoping and praying, well, it was a really rough first quarter of the year, kind of spring showed up, it's kind of getting a little bit better. Hope the year holds. The businesses that hoped 2008, 9, 10 wasn't real didn't make it to 2010. 40 or 50% of home services went bankrupt in the recession because it's discretionary home services. You don't need to do it. At the exact same time, other businesses grew massively by taking over market share, the right market share, right? So the new visibility ecosystem, you need a whole new mix of stuff. So what gets you found, trusted, and chosen? This is the goal right now. You want to get found. You got to surface. Trusted. Oh, I know those guys. If they don't say that, they move on. How do you make that happen so they choose you? Instead of relying on one channel, rank on Google, get clicks, get leads. Now, you've got to be the answer for the answer engines. That comes from your Google Maps. You've got to have not just reviews, but a full reputation marketing. You got to be telling happy customer stories out in the marketplace. You want to have a website that when they do make it to it, less people come to your website because there's less tire kickers coming to your website. Your website is more important than ever before. Content is more important than ever before. One cool thing about AI that a lot of people don't really understand, press releases do a brilliant job on helping AI mention you more, because AI is looking for recency relevance. So the decay of content for AI to recommend you is massively fast. You put out a piece of content a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, it is not even being picked up anymore. Right? SEO, sure. Organic, a little bit. Yep. Google Maps helping with that. Yeah, sure. But AI recommendation engine? Nope, not at all. You need to be telling fresh, localized, personalized content. Right? Social proof, omnipresence. You want to get visibility, trust, authority, and conversions across every customer touch point for your ideal customer. We need to know who they are. So where should you invest? It's always the question. Marketing is never an expense. Marketing is an investment in the future of your company, right? When you put a shirt on with a logo on it, you're marketing a better message to the public. When you drive around in a van that's wrapped, you're marketing a better message to the public, right? If you show up in a ripped t-shirt and jeans and they see you walking out of your van into the weed shop, grabbing your bag of weed, or your technician coming back into the van in dirty jeans and a t-shirt, sure, your buddies might think that's hilarious and that might be great. And I'm sure your friends love you. Everybody else who saw you, 99% of them, especially the ideal clients, the ones that are in 5, 10, 15,000 square foot homes, who will have you back 2 or 3 times a year for $2,000 or $3,000 a year in cleaning, are hiring somebody else to do that. It's not that, hey, I don't have any of those customers. Somebody does. And I guarantee you they do everything different than you. If that's you, how do you get more of them, right? But we need to invest in our marketing. Marketing generates sales conversations, whether that's with a repeat, a referral, or a new ideal client. Sales conversations, then done well with good conversions, generate jobs. Jobs generate revenue and growth. Straight up. So if you don't start with marketing, you don't get to jobs and growth. It's just the path. There's no guesswork in doing this. You need to generate more people who want to try you. They know, like, and trust you. So that's your visibility. Seen everywhere that your ideal customer searches. You've got to start being seen everywhere, right? Online, offline, in neighborhoods, the ideal neighborhoods, right? Get referred by the right people. That's being seen, right? It's not about spending more. It's about being way more strategic. You want to make sure that when they do see you, they're not seeing an ad for 3 rooms in a hall for $169, $149, whole house, $200. There's no trust in that. That's a commodity. You want them to trust you. So you want to talk about happy customers. You want to have testimonials. You want to talk about why you started your business. Here's my dog, here's my cat, here's my kids, my family, whatever. Here's from my family to yours. Here's why I want to be your carpet cleaner. I do everything differently. You got to stand out. That builds trust. You want to be able to convert, ask for the sale, follow up if they don't say yes. Most people do not say yes the first time. And then you'll get the growth you want. This is a byproduct of doing all of this right. Right, so the opportunity. We got to set our goals. We just saw the opportunity. So let's set our goals. Right, so to hit your targets, we got to know what they are and how you're going to get there. It's just doing the math. You got to continue marketing to generate bookings. That is our success. That's what we just talked about. You want to make sure that you will have all 7 essential online marketings running for you, right? So a website that is personalized, professional, focused on conversions, that speaks to the internet properly with all the schema codes and content and H1s and H2s and H3s and meta titles, meta descriptions. You don't have any of that. It's a brochure. And most of the brochures I look at are, babies lying on carpets and family and dogs sitting on couch, stock photos. And if you actually checked your heat metrics, your time on page metrics, most people, 95, 96, 98% of anybody who shows up on your website leaves without doing anything. You've got about a 3 to 5%, 2 to 5% conversion rate if you know your numbers. If you double that, just with a better website, don't change anything else, you've just doubled. If you get 1 job or 2 jobs a month because of your website, and your average job is $300, you can get 4 or 5, right? You just added an extra $1,000 to your revenue. Ooh, not a big deal. But that's because you've only got 20, 30 visitors showing up because you have no rankings on Google profile, no rankings in search engines. And now, again, what I call the everything, everywhere, all at once engine, which is Google Maps and SEO, organic, website content, topical authority, all of that also feeds AI plus reputation and everything else like that, right? So, right? But if you can take that 20, 30 visitors and turn it up to 200, 300 visitors or more, depending on the size of your marketplace, and you've doubled your conversions, now you've got a compounding factor. So now you just didn't add 1,000, but maybe you're getting $10,000 a month because you can convert more people first to a phone call, because if they go away, that didn't help. And then from a phone call or an outreach, you actually converted them to a customer at a better price. Everybody chases leads. It's the third problem of a 3-body problem. The first problem is more money. Second problem is more often. You solve more money, you double your average ticket and do nothing else different but double your average ticket, your business just doubled. No more customers, just find a better way to get the average person to give you more money honestly and ethically. And there's lots of ways. The average carpet cleaner right now sits between $400 and $600 residentially. Not the average, the best averages. Some of them are as high as $800 to $1,000 residentially. The 85% of carpet cleaners that never get out of the truck, the vast majority of those I talk to have an average ticket of $200 to $250. Average job ticket. They also did 20 years ago, $200, $250. So that's a problem. Paid ads don't work at that level, but you want to have paid ads. Paid ads include online and offline. There is a place for everything at the right time, right? Depending on your marketing budget. Budget's just a percentage of revenue. As your revenue grows, the budget gets bigger and more opportunities open up to continue to grow more and more. I'm just going to go back to that a little bit previous, right? Active social media, because we got to get them to know, like, and trust us. People don't make it to your Facebook page, though. So what does it mean by being active on social media? That's a whole different thing. We've done webinars and trainings on this, right? But you want to be active on social media. You want to have a cadence going on. You want to get some social signals that help all this out. You want to syndicate stuff for SEO reasons and AI reasons and all that. But then you want to be properly active. I don't mean an hour or two a day and doom scrolling like, your 14-year-old daughter. I don't mean that active. I mean, can you put in 5 or 10 strategic minutes a day to do the right things in the right places, in the right groups, on the right platforms? You want to build your reputation and market the crap out of it. It's not about getting Google reviews. They're helpful. They're definitely not the only thing or the most important thing at all. In fact, less and less people are making it to Google reviews. They're not seeing them. Doesn't mean they're not important, but your reputation, happy customer stories, testimonials, shared out, way more important. And then lead nurture automation. You want to make sure that every single person that reaches out to you is in a funnel until they buy or die. Because you want to walk your way through from $100,000, $120,000 business. Again, I did that in the first year, 1995, in a small town of 30,000 people. It's doable in 2026 quite easily. Or you could be like Tony and just do 50,000 a month by the end of your third month, 150,000 in the first 90 days of a brand new business, hustling properly with the right grassroots outreach, right? And you're ready to invest in stage 2. Stage 2 is the things you need to do to get to stage 3. Stage 3 is the things you need to get to stage 4. Stage 4 is the things you need to do to scale, buy other businesses, retire on the beach somewhere. There's an exact plan for all of that. And that plan looks like this. There's a blueprint for it. I teach it. I coach it. I learned it. I developed it. I learned all the pieces individually, put it together, and for the last 20 years have been helping some top companies, franchises, and people in our industry do exactly what we just said. As a private consultant, part of our coaching program, all kinds of stuff, right? So the modern customer journey has changed. That's our point. Traditional, yesterday, carpet cleaner near me. That search term is barely being used, and it was the number one. After it was like carpet cleaning, Sarasota Falls or whatever, right? Because you had to put that name in, or carpet cleaning, and all of a sudden you learned about carpet cleaning on Wikipedia, and so Google got better. Everything got better. Carpet cleaner near me was, oh, you must be talking about hiring somebody. The algorithm got smart. Hey, I'm looking for a good tortellini restaurant. Oh, you must be looking for an Italian restaurant. Got smarter, right? The algorithm just in general, right? Customers had to search, click through, dig, all kinds of stuff. They had to do work. Guess what people don't like to do, right? The work that's necessary, right? So we're going to do the work for them. AI today, who's the best carpet cleaner in my area? AI answers, here are some of the top rated, right? They can start having a oh, I've heard of ABC carpet cleaning. Yeah, I'm trying to get this done. Are they good at that? I've heard of these guys. I've seen their truck around. My neighbor had a yard sign in front of their house about that. I've seen them on Facebook talking about customers that they service or the charity that they donated to, gave free cleaning to, on and on, right? Customers get answers and then they decide because they have their friend. So consumers aren't searching anymore. They're asking. So word of mouth no longer exists. It did this time last year, going away fairly fast. That's why we did the 2-day intensive. Jeff Cross and I, through CleanFacts Magazine, Carpet Cleaner Marketing Masters co-sponsored, and we did a 2-day intensive and had hundreds and hundreds of cleaning business owners and operators on the call. John Braun was one of the speakers, Frankie Finn, our good friend Mark Sager, Kevin Kluth, all kinds of good guys, right? Nate Sisney, all kinds of great guys in the industry. And this is one of the things that came out of that as well, is word of mouth is now our new digital friend. We love our digital friend. You might not. That doesn't mean you're the norm, right? I get people go, oh, John, well, I don't use that at all. Okay, but the vast majority of the population now is, and it's being embedded into everything. Apple has just said that Siri is getting AI, right? Google, my Google Home Assistant is now smart. Took a while, but now. It sounds like you're noticing how helpful I am. And it's talking to me right now because I mentioned Google. So today's consumer researches more because they can do it easier. There's more research being done. Have you started to look something up? You needed a part for your lawnmower. And instead of going to Amazon or going to Jack's Small Engine, .com or whatever, and you're looking it up and you're trying to find the schematic and you're like, oh my gosh, I remember those days, right? Now you can do really deep research by chatting and going back and watching TV. Oh, what'd you find? Oh, neat. Yeah, tell me more about that. That sounds interesting. We're researching way more. We're comparing more, but we're trusting less. So we need those trust things, and we're deciding faster. AI, thanks to AI. So your marketing must adapt to how people and AI, search, research, and make decisions. The new buying journey. Customers are gathering real trust signals from everywhere before they make a decision, but so is AI before it recommends you. So your website, your social media, your social proof, your referrals, all of it is going into decisions. Happy customer stories, engagement, other people's input. Visibility gets the attention, trust gets the job. Very key point. Visibility gets your attention. Trust gets the job. How do you make sure that at every data point, you have trust signals? Do you even know what trust signals are? Photos, stories, reputation, social proof. Show proof, earn trust, win more jobs. So let's get this all put together. That's what we need to do. Let's take a look at our goals. No, I don't want to look at goals. Well, without goals, you're dead in the water. How do you know where to go if you don't know where you're going to go? Don't jump in the car and say, hey, we're going away for summer vacation. Where, Dad? I don't know. I'm just going that direction. I have no destination in mind. That would be the worst trip ever. There's some people that go to Disney, and at the end of a 3-day trip to Disney, they were able to get on 5 or 6 rides because they went to Epcot. Then they went over, if that's still around, haven't been there in a while. They went to the Animal Kingdom. They did like from there, then all across the park and all around, then there, then all, right? Other people make a plan. Hey, we're going to arrive on day 1. We're going to do this. And you know those people. If you're one of them, boom, 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 right? We're also going to do the fast pass for these, and don't worry about that and whatever. You have it all mapped out and planned out. And then on day 2, we're going to do this. On day 3, we're going to go to Universal. Day 4, let's all go to the beach. You know, like much better trip because you planned. Clear goals are wind in your sail. Let's put some wind in your sail, right? So we do know that Harvard study, don't need to spend on it, but when they asked Harvard graduates, do you have goals? The ones that had no specific goals, a group had goals written down, and 3 of them had goals clearly written and a full breakdown plan to accomplish them. Only 3% of the graduates. They came back and visited them 20 years later. 13% of the class who had goals were earning, on average, these guys here were earning twice as much as these guys. And the net difference they were talking about is, did you have a goal for why you took this course and what you're going to do next? But even more staggering, the 3% who had a clear goal and they planned to accomplish it were making 10 times all of these guys combined. Same course, same graduating class, different outcome. So what's your revenue target for the last half of the year? Right? If you want to hit 300,000 this year and you didn't hit 150, you know your revenue target. If you want to hit 600,000 and the first half of the year was all right and you hit 300,000, you know what you're going to do in the last half, right? How much is that monthly? Have you divided it out to know how much that is monthly? What is your average transaction? What is your average job? I would know that number for sure. I would and monitor it at all times. Is it going up? Is it going down? If it's going down, you could have marketing working better and better and better, and your business is getting revenue is going down, down, down. Business is getting tighter and tighter and tighter because your average job, somebody's taking the foot off the gas pedal. And now it's harder to make money in your business, even with other things working well, right? How many bookings will that require? You need to know this math. What is your average job value, right? So what is your average conversion rate from inquiry to booked job? Do you know your average conversion rate? If you don't, how do you know how many inquiries you need to hit your number? Divide your job inquiry target by the amount you need per month, and you'll know what you need, right? So what I'm going to show you a way that we're going to figure this all out. Second here, I just want to, yep, that's coming up next. So do you want to grow or just maintain? Are you in growth mode? Some people aren't. You got to know that. What is the mix of marketing channels? How many poles in the water do you need? I'm going to make a case that you need more than 20, sometimes more than 40. Not one. Not one. What's the average inquiry volume from those polls, conversion rate, and the front end ROI? And I can teach you why the front end ROI is not really that important. What should your database communication cadence be? And in what ways will you reach out to them? These are all things that help you set a realistic marketing budget and know how to set your goals. And what investment in growth assets versus pay per play lead sources are you willing to build over time? Growth assets take time and need an investment. They pay off later. So you do both. You have immediate payoffs right now, and you have long-term payoffs that are the future of your business. And you do both. So if you go to carpetcleanermarketingmasters.com/budget planner, we're going to see a really cool calculator here. I run this through with some of our coaching clients. I've made an update to it. I actually made an update to it. Close that. Here today. So you're going to notice that when you get there, the second tab is a little bit different. I'm going to finalize these changes and then update it so that the version you guys see is the one that I have. But we've moved it to tools.carpetcleanermarketingmasters.com because we're going to put all our tools on there, and then budget planner, right? But ultimately what we're trying to do here is say, how much do we need to invest to hit our goals? Just that math we just looked at. It's just an easy way of doing the math. So you don't need a pen and paper, right? So if you want to hit $300,000, that is $25,000 a month. It's pretty simple. It divides by 12, right? If your average job is $200, you need 125 jobs, service calls that month to hit 25,000 to be on target for 300,000. That's pretty simple, right? If you don't know your conversions, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't know your conversion rate, most people that we listen to are between 20 and 30% conversion of people that are inquiring to booking the job. How do we know that? We listen to their local service ads. That's the first good start, right? That's really bad, by the way. Even at $200. And you say, well, the lower my price, the more my conversions should go up. Yeah, but it still doesn't make the math work. What is your average cost to acquire a customer? A repeat back again and a new customer, right? That's where I want to bounce over to tab 2 and the new version of tab 2, because that number right there, how much does it cost to buy a phone call, is a number you need to know. So the new version of this tab, a little bit more going on here. I'm going to talk about it there, but I've given you 3 choices. Again, whoa, that looks overwhelming. No, you have what I call the core forever engine. Every successful cleaning company, home service company does this every day, all day until the day they sell or close the business. Sell it typically, right? So they walk away, they're done the business, they sell it, make their millions and walk away. They add this, there is your massive long-term growth. And they run these. And they might be doing next door ads. They might be doing every door mail. Like there's all these other ones you can add on, right? And you can put number ranges in. And what we've got is ranges, right? But the whole most important point is what percentage of your monthly jobs come from each one of these, repeat and referral. If you are running on leads only, I have checked people's numbers, you probably have about a 10% repeat rate. You have about a 3% referral rate if you're lucky because you don't have a formalized referral plan and you don't have any strategic partners other than that one real estate agent who you went to school with that refers anybody. And if you're lucky, it's 2%. So what are these costs here? Well, maybe you spend $1 to $2 a month on your database, $24 to $30 a year, maybe marketing your database, right? So the average is $23, $2 a month. Right? But you don't reach out that often. Maybe you do one text message a year and you've got a little bit of a texting plan. It costs you a little bit, right? That's why it's only 10%. Customer referrals, right? You don't really work it that hard, but if you did, were you given, maybe you're giving some money back to get the referral, right? So $20, savings to give me a referral. And strategic partners, you don't do a lot there. You're not really giving them kickbacks and you don't take them out for lunch. You don't spend any money. Don't do that kind of stuff, right? So you're just really not doing any outreach and growth. SEO, you don't put a lot of attention to it. You're not ranking on Google Maps. You don't even know what that means. You don't invest any money in it or very little. 10% of your revenue comes from Google without paid ads. And you run paid ad heavy. 75% of your jobs come from paid ads, right? So $49 blended across these. These are average rates. So you can adjust numbers and see where that fits. You can add other ones that you're doing. Again, these are average cost per inquiry from SEO sources, average cost there. But what I did do is say, hey, what if you are more balanced? Where you're getting about 40 to about 50%, 47% of your weekly and monthly jobs from database referrals and referral partners. Okay. That's a little more balanced. And you're getting about 25, 23% from SEO. You got a little bit of Google Maps working, kind of got a little bit of traffic, seems to come in, right? You're tracking it on Google Analytics. You know there's a bit of an SEO bump, and then you're still doing about 30% on paid ads, right? Now your average cost per inquiry has dropped from $44 to $34. And then if you're retention oriented, where you want to get to, where 70% of all your work comes from here, SEO organic AI mentions are helping you add new people to this engine. This is your forever engine. Now you're adding more to it, and paid ads are working for you to do that as well. You're in growth mode, right? Now your average cost per inquiry is way down. So if we go back to this, run on there, and again, you can adjust all of these as long as it hits 100%. That means you've got everything kind of earmarked on a percentage. The downside of this is you need more money at that. If you're only doing $200 a job and you're booking at 20%, you need more money than you are bringing in to get that many inquiries because of your booking percentage. Hopefully that makes sense. You need to actually invest more than you'll ever bring in, and you haven't even done the cleaning yet. So first two things that you have control over, get your average job up to like $375 to $400 and get your booking percentage up to like 40%. Track that, know that. Now you only need 30% of your revenue. Still too high, but 30% of your revenue because you're on, you're trying to grow your business on one-off transactions and lead gen. That's why it never works. You can't run a business where 30% goes to marketing. The sweet spot, we'll talk about later, but let's say we go to blended mode. All right, we're going to leave the 375 and 40%, but now we only need 22% of revenue because our average cost to acquire somebody is $34. So we only need to invest $5,000 a month to meet that $25,000 a month goal. We keep 20, 5 goes to ads. But if you're actually running this kind of business and you've learned what this is, you strategically understand what we're talking about, now you only need 18 to 20%. You make way more money in your pocket. Maybe you can start tweaking that up because you're good at it. And you start tweaking this up. We got clients that hit over 50%. That drops. I would actually invest more because now what you want to do is start targeting this number. Now you want to go to 400,000. So you need to invest more to get there. And then where do you invest? That all comes under this. That for whatever dollar amount you leave here ends up right here. 20% of revenue should go to marketing, $80,000. So you'd be a little bit low on here. And so we give you the, if you are really good at upselling that high, invest more to grow. Let's say we get you, again, back down to 375, back down to about 40%. Let's just keep the really normal numbers. Let's call it 45. Right? Know your numbers. Put your real numbers in, right? You want to be between 15 and 20%, closer to 20, the better. I'm going to suggest, as I always do, if you're in growth mode, hit 20%. 80 grand a year on marketing to build a $400,000 a year business. Right? Online gets 70% of it. Offline gets 20. Repeat business database gets 10. There's our dollar amount. There's how much every single month. We know what it is. Now, for the online part, where's it go? Offline, okay. I'm going to do, yard signs, door hangers, join the chamber, stuff like that. Repeat business, that's my database marketing, right? That's all cool. Online, the new search everywhere optimization, Google Maps, AI, organic, should take about 30 to 40% of the budget. Really depends on how much you want to invest here in today versus tomorrow. All right? 65 and 5 display, that's basically brand awareness. There's your budget every single month. Right? Say you want to grow $1 million business. There's your budget. There's your breakdown. Can you trim it back a little bit? Maybe if you get to scale. I wouldn't go too far. Right there, you might coast until you drop. I would keep it between 15 and 20%. And if you're in growth mode, if you want to keep going, if you want to go from 1.2 to $2.4 million in a year, you're going to do a lot of, maybe you'll put a little bit more offline, 60 online and 30% offline. Right? That's how you do the math. So that's for you guys to play with and understand, but that's the numbers we just talked about. The goal is that you need to know what you're targeting. That's the point. I jump on strategic calls with some of our clients and do that because the whole goal is you want to be the best known cleaner to all your ideal customers, your ideal local customers. That way they find you everywhere. When they're ready for you, they already know you. You're already in their head, online, offline, everywhere. You want to make sure that you've got people referring you. So if they use a maid service, well, the maid service also refers ABC Carpet Cleaning. Well, that's weird. I called my flooring store, my carpet store. They referred ABC Carpet Cleaning. I talked to my veterinarian. They have a sign right on the wall. Hey, our clients get bonus program with ABC Carpet Cleaning, free pet evaluation inspection, and the first $500 or $200 worth of pet stain treatment free for, at ABC Vet Clinic, whatever, right? They know you from everywhere. They see you on social media. They see you on LinkedIn. They see you everywhere they look, online, offline, everywhere, right? What do they see? You got to start with the fundamentals. Who are you targeting? With what message? On what platform? That's just fundamentals of marketing. Who, what, how. Market, message, media, match. So you want to update your message. You need to know who your ideal customer is. If you can see Joe Jones through Joe Jones' eyes, then you can sell what Joe Jones buys. So who is your ideal customer avatar? What pisses them off? What age are they? Where do they live? Ideal customer. We've got clients who their ideal customer are multi-millionaires. They target them. They know who they, what pains they have. They know where they hang out. They know what they listen to and don't listen to, see and don't see, respond to and don't respond to. Right? They still have the issue that they can't get a company on the phone. They need something clean. They're too busy to deal with it, worried that it's going to be a problem in their home, wanting to get it maintained properly. Right? So they don't want to be ripped off. They don't want to be paying too much. If they could have got the same job elsewhere, so you need to tell them the story, why your job is different. Having the home damaged or faulty workmanship, so they need stories about that customers, all love you and they did a great job and took, amazing care. That doesn't come from a guy with, jeans hanging down, halfway down his butt, underwear hanging out, and a ripped shirt on as the carpet cleaning technician. They don't feel any of this from that, right? They want to make sure that, it's not going to cause some sort of a problem. And they want to just live in a nicer home, drive nicer cars, do nicer things, maintain for their family. So those are the words we're going to use. We're going to talk to them with that message on our website, on our marketing, absolutely everywhere. So why should they choose your business versus everybody else? I call this the compelling sales proposition. It's part of your foundation. If you haven't figured out why you're different and why they should choose you over everybody else, because we offer 100% satisfaction guarantee. Well, does that mean your competitor offers a 90%, 80%? No, there's nothing compelling about that. There's nothing unique about that. There's nothing new about that. Well, we're the friendliest. Can you prove it? You tell me the other guy's not friendly, right? Maybe he gives you the finger because you haven't taken him out for lunch and chatted him up about carpet cleaning. But I'm pretty sure that in the customer's home, they love him, right? So what is it that you do differently? You get to make that up. You get to manufacture reality when you're building your compelling sales proposition, right? You want to have systems and reasons why you're different. What benefits do you offer your target customer avatar will resonate with? What are the benefits? Do you offer free spotting? Free bottle of spot remover for a year? Do you offer VIP club rewards? Do you have a Rolodex of other professional businesses that you vetted for them that they could use, like a whole bunch of things. That list goes on and on and on. Can you make the case? I don't know why the letter U is so small. Can you make the case for any of this? Same day estimates, money saving offers. I don't mean discounts. More services if you bundle. You'll leave the job site squeaky clean. Do you talk about the booties that you wear, the red carpet you roll out, the corner guards you use, the mats you run down the hallway, because you charge enough that you can actually offer a premium service to the customers that want a premium service. The ones that don't want a premium service will call the next cheapest guy next time. The ones that want a premium service, and you can prove it, will lock you in if you do everything right and you stay in touch with them every single month. they will lock you in. So experience, proven track record, and a risk reversal guarantee. If they're not happy, they don't pay. You come back, you re-clean. If you can't get the stain out and they find somebody else who can, you pay that bill. Like, you stand head and shoulders above everybody else. You will get more work. John, I'm going to get ripped off if I give a guarantee. No, you're just going to get busy. You're just going to grow. Really. The Karens will always be the Karens. You can't get rid of them, but you can end up with more really nice people. 10, 20, 30 more, 40 more, 50 more really nice people because of a better guarantee that you can back up than the one new Karen you just landed because of that. Everybody thinks of the Karen. That's the train wreck. We're all looking over there. But in front of us is the path. So can you make a case for safe, natural, eco-friendly? People like that. 100% satisfaction guarantee, or it's free, like I just mentioned. Highly trained technicians, trustworthy, bonded, and insured. Here's a picture of all of them. Here's their family. Trevor really likes hiking and camping, and as part of the youth, is a youth pastor on the side. George is, rescues dogs, blah, blah. Like, does that help? Right? Phones answered live. No AI answering your phones. No way answering machines. AI can answer phones. It can't add the human touch. People get pissed off. Answer the phones live. Have it as your third number ring. Hey, I'm sorry, all of our people in our office are busy serving other clients. I'm Amanda, your AI assistant, virtual assistant. I'm here to help you. Any information you need, anything I can help you with, I can get somebody to call you back. Honest pricing, no sales gimmicks, no hidden costs. You want to let them know that you have choices. Good, better, best. The range it's going to be in. Don't know until we show up. We can either do a quote, set the cleaning in a range because we're the best and you trust us, and you're not worried about, is it going to be exactly $373? Well, that's going to be between $350 and $450, $500, depending on which package, the size of the job, and what you need done. But what I do guarantee is we actually price exactly this way. So it really depends on what we see in the house. Do you want us to come out ahead of time and do a safe and healthy home audit on those areas? Or do you want to have that done on the day of cleaning before we go ahead and do the cleaning? We'll be in that range. Right? Now you can look at the media, because now you know who and what they want to see. Now, where? Where is the multi-channel? In the neighborhoods they live in, the JV partner, referral partners that they know, like, and trust already. Get endorsed, trust. The social media channels they already live on. Eventually, the radio they listen to, or podcast, radio, streaming service on the way home, right? Video, as they're watching video, can you be in front of them? Because they're meet your ideal demographic, search for something, and run video. Again, advanced strategy. Can you email? Understanding that email is meant for the headline to be seen. Maybe they open it, 50%, 40% open rate. If you check your scroll rate, it's probably less than 10%. They didn't make it down the page. Why? The headline influenced them. It's just a marker, a pace, right? Give them something good. Every now and then they'll open it. But you stayed in front of them. Make it valuable enough that they don't unsubscribe. How do you do that? It's not deals and discounts. It's helpful advice with a good headline. Direct mail works brilliant because they see it. They have to see it. They have to make a decision about it. Naked mail, like postcards, work, or a single sheet of paper with some handwriting on it. Lots of examples of that. Paid search, and a great website that hubs all of this. Right? So you got to make sure your website does convert. Clicks might be down massively, but search is way up. So why the F do I need a website? Your website is designed to train AI and convert real humans. That's the goal of your website now. It has to tell a story. It's got to be authentic. It's got to be consistent and transparent messaging. You're not making exaggerated claims. You're telling good stories, really authentic about the local area. All of that, you've got to have all your code that we talked about, schema, structured data, FAQs, review schemas, local business schemas, all, because that's what the internet needs to see. That's what this guy needs to see. He needs to find that to know, I'm in the right place, right? Does it have all of this stuff? Yep, I'm going to take some of that before I give an answer. Real human proof of real stories. Oh, that helps me out a lot, says the real person and our little AI person. And it must be AI readable with all of the right stuff. Trust must be visible to people and machine readable for AI. Looks like this, right? You have to tell the right story on your website authentically, not babies lying on carpets and dogs and families sitting on couches. No, 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 no. You need to tell what does it look like when I show up? Who are you going to be talking to? Why should you think that I run a good business? Why should you trust me and my company and the people I've employed? That's what your website needs to say right at the top of the page. Above the fold, as they say, and maybe 1 and 2 scrolls down. The rest of the scrolls are for the readers. Readers are leaders, right? Or leaders are readers. Both works both ways. So some people want more information. That's down the page. SEO needs more information, more H1s, H2s, H3s, and topical content, localized and personalized, written properly. Yep. In a story that hits the people in the questions that are in their heads in the order that it's in them, because there is actually a pretty linear path on that. Yep. You've got a great website. Look at your website. Is it built to tell a story and talk to AI and convert visitors at a rate higher than the average? If the average is 3 to 5%, if you can get 10, 15% conversion and nothing else is different, your website has just paid for itself. You know, if you wrap a van and drive it around properly, cleanly, not vaping out the window and covered in mud, right? Put a unique phone number on that van. I did. Put a QR code on that van. I did. You will know that that van will pay for its wrap, its $2,000-$3,000 wrap, about 30 to 45 days for the first time cleanings. Now you get those people coming back for life. We'll talk about that in a minute. And you're now 20, 10, 20, $30,000 worth of work per ideal customer. Or like George and Mia, $100,000, $200,000 worth of residential work per customer. Some of them, their best customers. So you want to make a plan to fill your gaps, right? If you're going all in, you need to have search everywhere optimization. Paid ads teaches AI, gets you, the people that stop there need to see your ads. Local service ads, pay-per-click. People that stop there need to see your ads. In the right neighborhoods, you need to be in the door, in the mailbox. Well, which one, John? Well, there's an order of importance, right? You want to do the right mix of this and the right mix of this at the right time as it comes out of that growth budget. If you tried to run every door mail without visibility, it's going to crap the bed, right? But what you do ultimately want is not just to get 3 or 4 jobs from Facebook ad or 25 inquiries from AdWords in the month, right? Or 90 inquiries, phone calls from Google Business Profile. What you want is all of them. So you got 200, 300, 400 inquiries coming in on all your different channels. These are your different channels. There's about 40 of them. We call them poles in the water around here, right? This is an exhaustive list. Inside a lot of these are many, many pieces, but you want to be able to set a realistic budget. As I mentioned, 15 to 20%. We talked about why that's the sweet spot. Again, carpetcleanermarketingmasters.com/budget planner, right? You also want to be able to understand where you fit in. So we've got another tool. I work with clients when they're doing pay-per-click to really understand that the success of a pay-per-click campaign, if somebody knows the industry well, knows how to dial in the average cost per click, knows how to dial in the website conversions, and understands the minimum amount of money needed per day. Think about it. The average cost per click in carpet cleaning is about $8, right? Sometimes as high as 12, 14, other times as low as 5, 6, but about $8, depending on the keyword mixes and stuff like that, the target search terms, pay-per-click. And a great conversion rate from a click to a landing page and an outbound inquiry, because a lot of people click on things and they just think it's a website. They don't know it's an ad. They just go looking, right? So Google says 20% is considered like God mode. If your website, 1 out of every 5 people reaches out to you. in just about an e-com or home service, you name it, right? That's God mode, right? 1 out of every 6, 15%, that's decent. 10%, right? 1 out of every 10, that's not as good. So 15% website conversion, you want to spend about $50 a day. Why? Because you need about 5 or 6 clicks to get one, not job, inquiry, right? So we want about $50 a day, $1,500 a month. That's great. We'll kind of walk through all of this. Now, if you don't know your booking percentage and it's sitting down around 30% and your average job is about $400 or $250, you won't even make enough money to break even running pay-per-click ads. I'm not sure. And we would tell you not to do that because the math doesn't math. That's here. None of this changes, right? We worry about dialing that in as best we can with decades of experience in the cleaning industry, working on just pay-per-click ads for cleaning industries. And how many days a week are you going to be able to answer the phones? If it's 7 days a week because you got a call center, bump that up. Your budget just goes a little bit higher. If you find the weekends doesn't book well, turn it back down to Monday to Friday, right? Try and get 2 leads a day, 3 leads a day, 4 leads a day, because you're going to try and book about half of them. If you're not booking half of them, your math isn't going to work out. If your average job is not 375, 400 or above, your math is not going to work out. But I don't even care about this, right? 210 clicks, 32 reached out. That's average. Costs about $53 to get a phone call. That's average. You book 17 of them because you're good at it. Cost you $97 to buy a customer the first time, and you made money. Invested $1,600, made $8,000. Right? That's not bad. 4-to-1, 5-to-1 ROI is amazingly good, and it all comes from this right here. Average job being really high, not here. Good math, good coaching, good business. What I care about more is, do you stay in touch with these people, 1, 2, 3 times a month forever in a meaningful, welcoming way, the best people, so that half of them come back. The other half you'll never see again in your life. You don't know why. I don't know why. Moved, died, gosh knows what. But out of these 17 people, can you get 9 of them to stick around for $5,000, $10,000 average lifetime value of repeat and referral? Not the average business we talk to, which has about a 10% retention rate because they do nothing, maybe the odd text message. Oh yeah, I got repeat customers. How often? Oh, I don't know. Is it 60% of your monthly jobs are repeat and referral? If not, you don't have this. So know the numbers, right? 10, 20% average, if they come back twice, you might make not 15,000, but $1,000. Now your lifetime value right now, every single month in this calculation, every single month, these 17 new people every month that came from this one pole in the water, we're adding about $135,000 to the lifetime value of the company because they know how to keep them and make them really valuable. Another company could bring this in, make their $6,500 after paying the ad cost. Out of that $6,500, technician, gas, solution, operating costs of the company, paying the ad company that's managing that for you, running the ads, all that stuff, right? Cool. But you might make about $1,000 or $2,000 out of those 17 people, maybe even 5 over the rest of their lives because you don't keep them, they find somebody else. So the biggest challenge facing cleaners is unconverted inquiries. We saw that. We want to make sure we maximize our conversions because you can generate a lot of work, lead gen, and not convert, not nurture, because people don't just book right away. Did you call somebody back tomorrow, 3 days later, 7 days later if they call on a Tuesday, call them back next Tuesday as well. And then on day 12, did you also send them, hey, some emails and messages about happy customers, why people choose you, why you started the company, why you're different? You started indoctrinating them a little bit, tell them a little bit of a soap opera story. That'd be great. Right? So you want to answer everything within, you want to follow up right away. In fact, Google says if you're not answering within 2 to 3 rings on local service ads, you are being demoted. Period. If you're not getting back to inquiries right away within minutes, they say you have up to 24 hours. If you're not getting back within minutes, you're demoted. They know that makes that people like running local service ads when they make lots of money, and they make lots of money when they get back, when they answer the phones live and they get back to people right away. That's the math that Google already knows, times millions and millions and millions and millions a month of local service ad inquiries, and they just charge pay per call, pay for every phone call. Right? The average quality customer must be followed up 5 to 7 times before they're ready to book. Right? They're just thinking about it, testing the waters. Today's consumers prefer to interact with messaging first. A lot of times they'll reach out by a text or a message, depending on the platform and the source. Do you have that on your website? Do you have that on, there's Messenger, all of this stuff come into one source, easy to get back to them, sends a quick little reply automation right away, starts a conversation, gets Nancy in the office on the message with them right away, alerts her, right? Consumers now want to do their own research and gather answers before reaching out. And then when they do reach out, they're just finalizing and confirming the data they found because they got AI to help them. So there's a proven solution. We call it Carpet Cleaner Lead Pro. Leverage marketing automation to follow up with web forms, messages, chats within the first 2 minutes, right? If you get a form on your website filled out, we call it Smart Connect. Your phone rings as soon as they fill out that form during business hours. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. I'll try not to. During business hours, they're going to, it's going to ring your phone. Hey, Mrs. Smith just filled out a form on a website. Press 1 to connect with her now. You press 1, all of a sudden you're on the phone with Mrs. Smith, right? You've tied the whole thing together. And she's going, wow, that was fast, because she sees your name come up. She knows she just texted you. If she can talk, that's great. If she can't, you should automate, send a text message. Hey, I just left a voicemail for you. Automate leaving a voicemail, right? Automate leaving a text message right away and start that conversation and follow up, and then drip and chase, right? Keep the human in the loop. Build a lead list that you can continue to market to over time. Why not have people that are interested in cleaning that maybe didn't use you this time? Maybe something came up, they ended up not cleaning. Who knows? If you stay in touch with them, you've got another chance. So it kind of looks like this. All your lead sources come into one dashboard, and they all get nurtured until they buy or die with great stories, monthly e-newsletters, quarterly offers, things like that. Just really done well. What does that do for you? Well, if you've got all of your poles in the water, right? You got a whole bunch of poles in the water, so you're generating a lot of inquiries, but you're not chasing them, not following up, not converting properly, right? You could take, as this example, 164 inquiries come in. You book it about 30%. Again, what we tend to hear is very average from all the clients we listen to when they first start up with us. 49 jobs you booked. Yeah, say your average job is $125 or $325. That's great. You made 16 grand, right? How much did it cost to run all of this? Less than 16 grand. You probably did a 3-to-1 ROI at that. Probably spent about 5 grand on all of your marketing and ads and stuff like that to generate that many leads. We can go back to the other calculator and figure that out, but probably in that range. But what if you continued following up these people, right? Had a better script, called them the next day, sent them an email, stayed in touch, and some of them came back right away that you would have lost. Some of them came back in a month or two. Some of them came back next year, didn't like the other guy. And now you went from 30% to maybe 40, 45, 50% on the front end, and pick up the 20% stragglers down the road from that same group of 164. Now you made $40,000, $37,000, not 16, out of the exact same people. Didn't up your prices, didn't do anything different. All you did was follow up better. That's how conversion optimization is a bigger problem than more leads, right? More money per job, customer more often, better than more leads. Better conversion, better than more leads. So most people don't have a lead problem. You make every lead, you generate way more valuable, stay in touch forever. How do you know how to do that? How do you do any of this? You know how to track your numbers, right? Here's an example here of a client had a 40% booking rate, $350 job average. Oops, let me go back, right? We knew their numbers. Over time, we got the conversion rate up to 65%. So from 40% to 40, respectable, 65%, way better. We went back and looked at their numbers and said, hey, at this new conversion rate, let's go back and look at that month, that first month that we did. What would it have looked like? What would have been the difference? Right? The difference would have been the average cost per lead down to $15 or $18 from, let's go back. There's got to be an easier way to do that. No idea. We're just going to do it this way. Let's go back to the other number. Previous slide. There we go. Right? So, sorry, we got $10,000, $83,000 in revenue. This was over a quarter, I think. Like, wasn't a month. It was over a quarter. $83,000 in revenue. $10,000 ad spend. And then $136,000 in revenue. They literally left $50,000 on the table. Just because of that, nothing else changed. A lot of money there waiting in there. So which one of these channels are you going to add on right now? What is your plan to stack? Continue add one on, lock it in, add one on, lock it in, add one on. So you are growing the business, setting things up, automating it, and putting more poles in the water as the math makes sense. Right? So marketing strategy is essential for 2026. A website built for AI and built to convert. But lots of optimized authority content, videos, case studies, blogs, press releases. If you're not adding 1 to 2 new pieces of content a week around the web, maybe a Google business post every day, if you're not doing that volume, you are behind. AI has a recency bias. It decays very fast, and AI is taking over search. But even good SEO, good Google Maps optimization. Are you adding images? Are you adding stories? Are you adding secondary services? Are you focusing on online reputation, not just reviews? Do you have feedback and services and stories all over the internet, everywhere they look? They don't all just go to Google. Not everybody goes to Google. They just don't, right? Are you sharing real customer stories and projects? Do you have a mix of online, offline, and database marketing going at all times? You have a strategic paid ad campaigns running. That includes offline paid ads when it makes sense, when the dollars and math make sense. Social presence and email marketing to your leads, to your database. Are you staying in touch, telling good stories? Do you have lead automation nurturing going on? So every lead comes in. And have you got measuring and tracking your KPIs? Sounds like a lot. Does sound like a lot. But running a company that grows as quickly as those case studies I told you at the beginning is because of this. You start putting this stuff in place. You do your core forever engine every single day, and then you add in the enhancers. So you can audit your marketing, get our checklist, show you where to get that. You go to our website, carpetcleanermarketingmasters.com. It's a pop-up. If you go to leave, it's going to go, oh, do you want to get this? Right? But mid-year review. Are you on track to hit your goals? The modern customer has changed massively since we last talked about this. It had already been changing massively all of 2025. We last talked about this in January. New visibility ecosystem changed massively again in May 8th. Are you keeping up? Do you know what that even means? And building a marketing plan that gets you found, builds trust, and converts. Have you got any takeaways? If you don't take something away, I call it implementation is everything. Businesses do not fail because they don't have enough ideas. It's because they don't execute them. They don't have a system in place to break it apart, figure out the pieces that need to get done, put a timeline on them, and then just execute. Again, we're going on holidays to Disney. I need to break it apart, talk to the family. What are all the rides we want to go on? Everything we're going to do. Where are we going to stay? What are we going to do day 1, day 2, day 3? Is there anything we want to show, we want to see at night? We're going to build our plan, and then we're going to execute it. Same thing. Why put in that much effort for a trip and not put that much effort into for your future? The key to growth, take immediate action on one high impact shift, get good at the habit of taking action. Marketing is not a side activity. It is the business you're in. Everything you do, you should be marketing every single day to generate a sales conversation. You will not be generating sales conversations if you're not reaching out and marketing, right? Best businesses are not the best operators. They are not. They are the best marketers who then need to refine operations so the business doesn't blow up around them. And they learn that. You learn this, then you learn that. You commit to one major marketing shift this week, right? Reminder, AI is the great equalizer. It's not going anywhere. It's commoditizing businesses. It's making everybody look the same. If you don't differentiate and have a compelling reason why, and have people know your brand and you before they search, then you are just a sea of sameness, right? The winners will be authentic, trusted businesses building human relationships. The best known cleaner wins over having any discounts and deals or anything. Your omnipresence is the goal of everything you're doing. If no one knows who you are, a great offer will not matter. Customers don't buy based on price. They buy from brands they know, trust, and respect. Your best customers, price is a distant afterthought. It's got to be reasonable, but it don't have to be cheap. Right? There's a reason why George and Mia get $3,600 to do duct cleaning in residential customer homes. 3 furnace systems, sure, big ass homes, but done properly, zone bag inflators and like all of it, inspection done properly. The way those people want it done, you tell the right story, prove the right, have the right happy customer stories, people will pay that. Right? Price shoppers, they're pinching pennies harder and harder than ever before as the warnings and loomings of a downturn and a recession have been around for a while now since coming out of COVID. This has been sort of a brewing thing. We've got all the different reasons why that should happen. We've got a midterm year in the United States. So we got a little bit of, jockeying and gamesmanship happening to try and, win the midterms and things like that. And that's always a fun year, but it's also in the middle of a mess. Loyal customers value trust, repeat customers. They're repeat customers. They'll refer you like crazy. They'll pay a premium and they'll love doing it and they'll love you for it. And you have no price problems. Which one does your marketing attract right now? Not which one do you want? Which one does your marketing want and attract right now? Who do you talk to? Do you show dirty black carpets getting cleaned? This person doesn't have dirty black carpets. They have the odd dribble and stain and a little bit of a gray patch in the traffic lanes, and they want to maintain. And they want that cleaned regularly, protected often. Their upholstery has to be cleaned and protected so that when the kids bounce on the 27-foot sectional, still watching the movie with their friends, spilling pop and Skittles and popcorn, they just get it cleaned more often. They don't live with the stink and the mess. So there's a blueprint for this. We showed that earlier, the blueprint for success. There's an exact way to put this all together, right? We talk about this every time. The way people buy, work, and experience life has changed forever. Have you noticed it? There is a clear path to better clients, predictable growth, and real scale. There's a lot that we just talked about. You can hack through and go it alone. We also have a by invitation only coaching program. Very small. We keep it small on purpose, where we meet every single week. We're meeting today at 4:00. Every Thursday at 4:00, we meet. We go through all of this one by one. We build your core forever engine. We work on pricing and packaging and ideal customers, help you think through all of that as a group and share it all out. I joined groups. I paid Joe Polish $300 a month, probably starting in 1997, 98. I paid Howard. Love you, Howard. Paid him to be part of his programs, bought all of the courses. I'm sitting staring at them. I joined Strategies for Success, John Don in the day. Why? Because that's what got me out of the truck. That's what helped me grow $1 million cleaning businesses, learning the stuff I didn't know because I didn't go to college. I played in a rock band and jumped over the side of 40-story buildings. Coaching and mentorship and a community of people that understand marketing is how they grow. Run into problems, ask questions, fix things, put the priorities, make the main thing, focus on the right thing, more money, more often, then more customers, right? Make sure you've got your client experience dialed in, your referral network dialed in, all one little step at a time. Take a deep breath, jump on a call, go through some training, learn it, come back with some homework done, and actually have accountability to grow your company. So if that sounds interesting to you, reach out to us, or you can go to blueprintforsuccesscoaching.com, learn all about it, right? Blueprintforsuccesscoaching.com. You can learn what it's all about. You can see my journey. There's some pictures of me there when I started in my S10 pickup truck. That's how I started my carpet cleaning business. So you get to see those on that page as well. And yeah, you get to see the 23, 24-year-old John sitting on a floor scrubber as well and stuff like that. So this is the coaching program. Again, we've got kits and examples and material and training. This is the stuff I charge $5,000 a day for. 2-day minimum, fly me out, put me in a hotel, pay all my expenses, and then pay me that I've done to help companies grow into the millions and tens of millions, and even just 200,000 to 400,000 and all of that kind of stuff. So we now do it as a group coaching. So if that sounds interesting, if there's anything there that fits for you, cool. If you want to know more about what we do, you can jump on have a schedule with me. We can go through your business, do a growth plan, do a diagnosis, do a consult, right? I'll give you an hour of my time. The team will do a whole bunch of research ahead of time. We can jump on a call and find the best path forward for you. There is a way. It's proven. It exists. So you can spend years trying to figure it out. If you're on that path and that journey, cool. You can jump into a consult and then decide the right fit. Does it work in the coaching? Does it work? Do you need some help with some services? Do you need some of that core forever engine stuff set up? Do you need a good lead conversion and nurture system put in place? Do you know what any of that means? Do you need help with any of that? We can have that conversation. There is a where you are, next steps that already exist right now. You might be thinking, oh, I need to do that, and then I should probably do this. Yeah, you should go to Epcot today, and then maybe go to Animal Kingdom tomorrow, and jump around and do this one ride here and that one ride there by afternoon, and get to go on 5 rides in your week at Disney. Or you can plan and understand how to do things in order and see it all in 3 days. So you get to decide which way you want to experience your business and your growth. Just know that it's moving faster and changing faster than ever before. That's the message. And hopefully you've got a plan for the last half of 2026 as all the changes are happening around us. You've got a plan in place. You know how to grow, and it's not the same as what you did last year and the year before, because that isn't going to work anymore. So anyways, with that, love you guys. Thanks for showing up. Or if you're watching this on replay, hopefully you found some value. Comment, like, subscribe, follow, tell your friends, share it out. That helps. It helps our industry. It helps you. It helps me. So anything you want to do there, that'd be appreciated. And with that said, I will see you all next time. I got to jump and take a bit of a break before we jump on the coaching call this afternoon. So thanks so much, everybody. Take care.